So we also saw the news this week that BtoBet's sportsbook solution has gone live on your Fusion aggregation platform. So can you tell us a little bit about how that partnership came about?
Definitely. So first of all, as everybody may know, we're part of a bigger group. We're a very proud member of the Spire Global Group, and were purchased by Spire Global in 2019. Spire Global, in their ambition to hold the entire value chain, have also purchased BtoBet Sportsbook. Part of the strategy is for Pariplay to be able to distribute the sportsbook through its aggregation platform, which I think is something a little bit new in the industry. Today, not many aggregators have succeeded in that. And through that, we're happy to say that we've now added BtoBet, the full sports product. And even better, it's through a single API. So if you're already integrated into Fusion, you can now switch on the sports automatically.
Oh, wow. That must be really helpful.
I hope so.
So what are your hopes for this partnership going forward?
So the hopes are huge. We have an ambition to add as much content onto our aggregation platform as possible. We have understood that content should not be limited to only slots. Today, the volume of slots is becoming enormous, and the slot market is becoming extremely, what's the word that I'm looking for? Convoluted, and there's not so much originality, right? So companies are not launching all the new slots that were coming out. A few years ago, 2 years ago, every new slot that was coming out, there was this race from operators to launch it. So the challenge for an aggregator today is to try and bring value. So by adding additional products and some interesting products, definitely brings value to Pariplay. And because of that, we do have huge hopes on expanding our range of customers and making it easier for our operators to grow.
I mean, funny enough, that was actually a topic that I spoke to your colleague Dean Hendricks about last week.
Okay.
Kind of creating like added value and stuff. So that's actually quite interesting that you've mentioned it as well.
Exactly.
So looking at this integration particularly, Pariplay's got a huge kind of network of partners. What will this integration with BtoBet mean for those operator partners going forward?
So we have a whole range of partners that are ranging from sportsbook operators to casinos and bingo operators. So each one has their own opportunity and in their own space. Basically, what this means is that if you do not have a sportsbook today and you integrated with Pariplay or Fusion, the effort in order to launch sportsbook becomes something that's consumable. The challenge has always been that if you wanted to launch a sportsbook, it's a huge business decision. It's enormous. It's not something that you can just kind of, switch on a slot or something like that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make this very, very easy and very, very manageable. So it's not just a question of the integration, it's also a question of the operation. So together with this partnership, you can now do a deal with BtoBet. BtoBet can give you a fully managed solution, which encompasses everything. And on a technical level, you can essentially switch it on like it's another slot. It comes in an R-frame, so it's very easy to consume technically. And essentially, within 3 to 4 weeks, you can be running a full sportsbook in any market that you require. So this is now very, very quick and very, very easy for the operators that are already plugged in to start to embark on this venture.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a technical specialist. I'm gonna be honest with you. So you've kind of made it seem quite easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of going forward, what would you say are like the key kind of pain points that operators face, when they're adding new verticals to their offering?
So I think that the decision today for operators to add new verticals becomes it's a very, very big decision because you need to consider everything that encompasses making that decision, because not every decision is just about adding a new vertical. How do you manage this new vertical operationally? And how do you manage it from a marketing perspective? So there's all the different facets in the organization that you need to cover, and it's not just a technical decision. A technical decision is part of it, which means if a company can bring you an all-round solution that helps you manage all of these risk points and minimize the risk, that decision-making ability should be much easier. But what Pariplay is trying to do through this is to actually make sports something that's much more accessible for small, mid-term operators that, say, perhaps weren't ready to embark on sportsbook because it is something that's quite huge. And now it's something that's quite easily manageable and you can do it quite comfortably. So we expect in a way to make sports, I don't want to say mass market because, sports by definition is mass market for the players, but it's not mass market for the operators. So we're trying to take something and make it mass market for the operators.
Can we expect any more big names integrating their sportsbook solutions onto their Pariplay Fusion platform, or is that still kind of under wraps?
So we have some nice deals in the works. I have to say that we've been a little bit more cautious on the sales part because, as you know, this is a huge venture to be able to take sports and push it through aggregation and through a single API. So we didn't want to take it to too many companies before we trusted and knew that the product was up and running. Now that we know that we can offer a full professional sports solution, not a piece of a solution or some of a solution, but a full sports solution, including all the bells and whistles, free bets and bonuses and everything that you need to be successful in sports. We will now embark on tackling some big names, but we are in some discussions already, and I have no doubt some big names will be hitting the press very soon.
I'll keep my eye out for those.
Fantastic.
What have been the key challenges that Pariplay have faced kind of when it comes to setting this up? Because, this is a huge task.
It is, and it's a very, very, very good question. What I think has been very interesting in this process of adding it is that different companies within the Aspire group come with different pieces of knowledge or backgrounds. And I think that we've been pretty good on how we have managed to leverage all of that knowledge. So for example, Aspire themselves, they've been involved in communication and working with us on this project, in a way consulting for us. And they very much, although they've sold their B2C business as a white label business, they are dealing with the players. So they are giving us the input from the player's perspective and trying to make sure that the product that we bring to market is actually matching or meeting the needs of the operator, the end user. Yeah. Pariplay is coming from a different perspective. Pariplay is coming from a very simple perspective that we technically want to make things very easy and very simple. So in every solution or every challenge that we faced, we're trying to come with a way that says we're not going to accept this because this is going to make more work for the operators and this needs to be seamless. And then, of course, BtoBet has come with their sportsbook knowledge, saying we need to deliver the best sportsbook product out to the market. So the challenges that were faced along the way were if we just took a standard solution off the shelf and added into the aggregation, it wouldn't have been a very good aggregated solution because then you might as well just integrate directly into the sportsbook, right? There's no real value in coming to Pariplay. And again, you might get a solution that doesn't really suit the operators, right? It might be a dumbed down version or a simplified version. So I think by bringing all of these three facets together, we're really bringing something to the market, which is best of breed and a full sportsbook offering, which is, I think, unique in the marketplace. And I'm very, very much looking forward to how the market receives this.
And do you reckon then more kind of companies are going to follow suit with what you're doing?
First of all, I have to assume that more companies will want to follow suit because, this is the nature of business, right? No one's going to let us run away with everything. However, I have to say that we are not the first company in the history that has tried to accomplish this. Some have tried and failed, and some have tried and succeeded on some level. We like to think that we've succeeded on a better level. I don't think to copy this is something that's very easy. It's taken us a year to integrate, which some would say is probably very quick. But I don't think it's something that's easy to copy. But I have no doubt that other companies in our space should try and do the same thing. And it's good for the market, by the way, right? If there's only one company that's doing one thing, actually, then there's no reason to create, to improve, So we welcome competition. Well,
there's no reason for innovation or anything, is there?
Exactly. So we welcome competition and we look forward to being pushed harder and harder because that's what makes us as good as what we are. So we appreciate that.